All right, thank you very much. How's it going? Awesome. All right, this is my story. I was dating this girl like 2 years ago. I've been dating her for like 8 months, and she wanted to meet my parents. She was really giving me shit, like, how come I haven't met your parents? Oh. And, you know, I never liked, you know, I never brought anybody home to meet my parents. I was like 30 years old. Never brought anybody home. I didn't ever like meeting people in general. I didn't want to meet her parents. I always hated when you had to meet, like, you know, go out with somebody, you got to, like, meet their friends and shit. You know, sitting at the table, trying to be interesting. I usually end up just sitting there staring at, like, mashed potatoes or some shit. So she's like, you know, what's wrong with you? You know, how come you don't want to meet me, you know, bring you home to meet your parents? I started thinking about it. Like, you know, not only had I never brought anybody home, you know, a girl home, and I was 30 years old, I'd never brought anybody home. Even, like, back in, like, first grade, like, second grade, I mean, I had friends and shit. I just never brought them home. So I started thinking, like, you know, how the hell did that start? You know, as we're basically driving up from New York to go to my house to finally meet my parents. And I remember, like, I think it was like when I was first grade, we used to have a bus stop, and it was like right out in front of my house. And my parents used to always be arguing. And my dad was like a maniac, you know, always screaming, "Goddamn fucking bitch," you know, just total psycho. My dad was like a complete psychopath, you know, like his nickname in my house was called the Thing, because that's what he was. He was this fucking thing. That, like, if he wasn't around, we'd say, "Dude, is the Thing home?" You know, if he wasn't home, you could chill. He was just, like, never in a good mood. So one day I'm down at the bus stop. There's, like, you know, 10 other kids down there and shit. We're all, like, in first grade, second grade, third grade, waiting for the bus. And it's, like, towards the summertime, so my parents got, like, the windows open and shit. So I can start to hear, like, an argument starting, like, "Well, what the fuck do you mean you didn't know?" And I'm sitting there going, like, please let the bus come. Please, for Christ's sake. And all of a sudden, "You goddamn fucking bitch," screaming and shit. And I remember just looking at all the other kids' looks on their faces, like, I guess, you know, this is like way before cable, so most kids never even heard curses, so they couldn't believe it. And that's when it really hit me that, man, my family's really screwed up. And I started going over other kids' houses, and their parents seemed to get along, and they were, like, cool. And so the whole time I'm driving back, my girlfriend coming up, all this stuff was, like, coming back, and I'm thinking, and I really get like I'm a 6-year-old kid again, like getting all nervous, like how my dad is gonna like act, because it's like embarrassing, you know. I mean, I remember like he was one of these dudes where like I don't know, he's just always in a bad mood. Like if he tried to like teach you something, he'd say it once, and then when you didn't get it, he'd just say it louder and louder. And I remember at 6 just going, this guy he's retarded. Like, I remember we got a dog, and he's trying to teach this dog how to sit. All right? It's a dog. It doesn't speak English, and he's sitting there going, he's going, all right, sit. It's a little puppy. Sit. Sit down! You're going to get over there, and you're going to sit down! Dog's sitting there, like, walking around, like, peeing, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And that was, like, his thing, man. Everything, like, in my house, my parents, they were, like, ridiculously strict. They had all these stupid rules. Like, I remember they had like this one rule: whatever you didn't eat for dinner, they would just like wrap it in cellophane, and you had to like eat it the next morning for breakfast. And there's like everybody's sitting eating their like pancakes and waffles. You're like eating like cube steaks and shit. Dad be going, "Come on, eat it!" "I don't want to eat it." "Eat it!" So I'm like driving back, and that's all I'm thinking. It's like, God, this guy's just going to completely embarrass me. And I don't know, like, it just felt weird. Like, my family was like most families like loving, like, build somebody up. Like, our family was just all of us just like ripping somebody down. Like, I think the worst thing he ever did to me, this is the one that really kind of made me like the anxious, like, worrisome person that I am. I remember it was right around Christmas. I was really thinking this because I was driving this girl up for Christmas. He was giving me shit one day. He always hated when I was joking around. I think making my mother laugh somehow was, I don't know, bug him or whatever. So he kept giving me shit. "Come on, man, you know, you keep joking around, you know, giggling all the time. You're acting like a little girl." And I'm thinking, like, because he's always fucking with me. I'm going, "Oh, God, here's a new angle." You know, you asking for a football for Christmas, you acting like a little girl, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm just sitting there going, Jesus. So like 2 weeks later, it's Christmas time. I got like 4 brothers, right? And we always sneak down to go look at the presents. So we go downstairs, right? There's all these gifts down there all wrapped. And we're all looking to see who got what, you know. There's all these little tags, to Ed from Santa. You know, be like, you know, to Bob from Mom and Dad or whatever. And I'm sitting there. Just wait a second. So I look, in like the middle of the tree, I see there's a doll. And I'm thinking, I got 4 brothers. What the fuck is there a doll sitting here? And I remember just looking at this thing. You ever see like those Spike Lee movies where like the background moves and the character doesn't? You just, it's like one of those deals. And I look up at this doll, right? And it says, to Bill from Santa. And I'm like, what the fuck? Guy got me a goddamn doll. He came downstairs and he's laughing and shit. And he's making me take a picture. I'm like 6 years old and crying and stuff. And I'm thinking of this shit as I'm pulling into the driveway. And I'm like freaking out because I'm finally gonna bring somebody home to meet this fucking maniac. And I'm telling her, you know, I don't know how this guy's gonna be or whatever. So we walk into the house. You know, it's like candles and shit, you know, Christmas tree, it's all real nice, dim lights and stuff. She comes in, she meets my dad, and the dude is like totally normal. After me building this guy up the whole ride back, he's like fucking like, you know, that dude from Leave It to Beaver. He's like the nicest guy ever. He's all cordial. And I remember I'm just getting like pissed at the guy. Going, why isn't he being a dick? And she's sitting there, like, taking me aside, going, he's the greatest guy. And he's I can't believe he's saying all that stuff. He's, you know, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's so interested in what I have to say. I remember I was so pissed at the guy. I mean, I really hated him when I was growing up. To the point, I remember one time, he went out the driveway, and he's running out to his car, and he slipped and fell and broke his shoulder. And at that point, me and my brother so fucking hated this guy. When he came to the house, my mother's like taking care of him. We snuck out the back door to look at his footprints in the snow to see where he slipped and fell. And I'm telling you, we were laughing our asses off at this guy. Yeah, right there, that's right where he... Fuck, why couldn't I have seen that? So he ended up being like the sweetest guy ever, and there was nothing anxious about it. I like worried about it for like, I don't know, from the beginning of the time, dating girls like 15, and I just ended up feeling really stupid. And I was kind of pissed. I was just looking at the guy going, why the fuck couldn't he have been like this, you know, 20 years ago when I needed him to be like that, rather than, you know, being the way he was. But, you know, I always want to talk to him about it, but we don't communicate, so I guess it is what it is. And that's my story. Thanks.
Bill Burr, everybody.
I won't. Bill's new theater tour kicks off February 21st with 6 shows at the Wilbur Theater in Boston. I swear to God, you are hilarious every time I see you. And I want to make sure we get this out. The Patrice O'Neill benefit is next Tuesday at the New York City Center, and this is very important.
Yeah.
This is something that you're doing to, this is going to raise money for Patrice O'Neill, one of the great, funniest stand-ups ever.
Funniest comic I ever saw. Unfortunately, passed away. I'm going to try to get through this. And, sorry.
That's all right. You're going to, by doing this, you're going to raise...
Money for his mom.
Money for his mom.
And his wife.
And this is huge. This is huge. Patrice O'Neill benefit next Tuesday at the New York City Center. You're a hilarious man. More important, you're a very good man. Bill Burr, thank you very much. You're a great guy. Be right back. Ed Sheeran.
I'm very proud to present Bill Burr with the Alumni Award of Distinction. Here's Bill Burr.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Stephen Wright, everybody. Stephen Wright. It's, I don't win stuff. So this is kind of my first time being able, having to do this, but this really means a lot to me. You know, I went to Emerson, I don't know, like 20 years ago, and I remember I'd be sitting in the classes and I would be looking, and when they would have like the brochure and all the people who went to the school, and I see Stephen, Mario Cantone, Dennis Leary, all these guys, and wondering if I'd ever get to be, you know, up here. So, oh man, I didn't think I'd get. That's against the rules for comedians to get emotional, but seriously, I love this school. I hope all you guys follow your dreams, and thanks a lot.